Hello magical people, my name is Courtney and welcome back to my grotto! So I've been hesitating to make this video. I'm quite literally crapping myself actually about making this video. But I have been asked many times to talk about the Harry Potter HBO Remake. Every time I stream, I'm currently streaming the Harry Potter video games on YouTube and TikTok, and every time someone's like, what do you think the HBO Remake? So I'm going to talk about it. I don't mean any offense. I don't mean to be mean or anything like that. I just want to share my love and concern for the Harry Potter world. So yeah, I hope that's okay. I mean, it's my channel, people want to know, so I'm going to talk about it. I have many thoughts about this. For one, I think it is way too soon to be able to remake Harry Potter. Like, we have the books, we have the movies, we have the audiobooks, which are amazing, by the way. I think the movies have such magic to them. I think that the cast is phenomenal. I think that the way things were done were amazing. Are they perfect into the books, having every single detail? No, they're not. But I don't believe that this series will have that kind of extensive detail that the people want as well. There are different people in the Harry Potter fandom. There are people who just casually watch it for movies. There are the ones that are very stuck to the book. I won't even touch the movies. There are the fan fiction people. There are the theme park people. There are just people just loving it for loving it. The cast that we had for the original Potter movies were literally incredible. I think they were perfect to their characters. I wasn't a big fan of Michael Gambon's Dumbledore until the 6th movie. I liked his Dumbledore. I always have preferred Richard Harris, so we didn't get much of him. I would have loved to see him if he lived longer. I want to talk about a specific writer who went on a podcast last year, who is on the series, which is according to the Writers Guild, so it's all confirmed, but he hasn't even finished reading the books. He doesn't seem very interested and is enthusiastic about it. Andy Greenwald, a very Harry Potter kind of surname. He claimed that he did not like the idea of a rigorous adaptation of J.K. Rowling's books despite admitting that it would be successful. So he's not even a fan and he's friggin' on board. Like, he's admitted, to not even finish reading the books, which is great. I feel like people are signing on to this project because they know it'll make money. I feel like people are going on for the wrong intentions. Something that I feel was so beautiful about the original films. If I get emotional, don't be so mean to my millennial soul. I'm just very into Harry Potter. I just feel like Harry Potter is such a money grab now, and I feel like some people are just taking it with the wrong intentions. I feel like with the Harry Potter films, there was so much love and passion because when the films were starting, the books hadn't even all come out yet. Like, it was the first 4 books that were out when they started filming. I think something that was so exciting about growing up with Harry Potter is that you didn't know how it was going to end. People would go to the book launches, people would just be waiting for the next film, and I think there was something so special about the era of Harry Potter in the 2000s when I was growing up. Like, I know people say this reboot would be good for the newer generations, yes, but it's literally just binging a TV series and then moving on and calling it a day for another 2-3 years until the next season comes out. Like, I feel like things aren't as special when they come out in streaming as they used to be. Well, I remember distinctively when I was a child and I saw the first Harry Potter film, that's how I fell in love with it. I thought Monsters Inc. I had to choose between that and Monsters Inc. and I thought Monsters Inc. was for boys and about monster trucks, so I went and saw Harry Potter and my life literally changed in the best way. And I'm very grateful that my mom let me see that. And then I saw every single film at the cinema. I remember I would run to the radio when a Chamber of Secrets trailer was playing for the cinema, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see this movie. I think there was something so special about waiting for it to come out at the cinema and then waiting for it months later to come out on VHS or DVD. And the build-up was just so exciting after exciting. I feel like streaming services have killed that excitement. When things go straight to streaming or just woohoo. I forgot that Last of Us was a thing. I thought they were up to season 3, season 4, but it's been 2 years and they've only just shown season 2 coming out, and I'm it's actually crazy. I don't see many people talk about it. But then again, I'm not in that segment of the internet, but I feel like there just isn't that much of an excitement. Even Wednesday, when they come out, season 1 was 2022 and it's 2025 and it's just finished filming. I think when you're dealing with children and a children's story, it's not good to do live action, like especially with like series. I feel like with the films, Christopher Columbus was amazing. He got these kids off to Philosopher's Stone, done a premiere, took them straight back to work to do Chamber of Secrets, so it didn't have that much of a growth. And I think that it was good to have that little year break for The Prisoner of Azkaban, because it showed that they were grown up, they were teenagers, they were 13 now. And I think how it was done was so beautifully. With streaming services, it takes like 2 to 3 years for another season to come out. Streaming, they do say that it will take 10 years for all of them to come out. I'll be in my 40s, and that'll be, if it makes it that far. Like, I don't want to get too ahead because we know how streaming services are. Look at Stranger Things. It came out 10 years ago, and we're only getting season 5. We're only just finally getting to final season 5. And that took 10 years for 5 seasons to come out. Harry Potter will probably take like 17 years to come out if it goes the whole way. So that's a risk in itself. I mean, talking about it, like, I just have so many concerns about this and how it just, I don't think it'll meet the success rate. Like, people are like, oh, do you know Harry Potter fans, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, but Harry Potter fans are picky. They pick and choose. Fantastic Beasts started amazingly until the films kind of dropped off a bit. It was a different territory, and then the drama all happened and the boycotting and things split and money wasn't made, and we didn't get those final 2 films. And then you take something as successful as Hogwarts Legacy. And how did that go so amazingly? Because it was open world. It was a different story. You weren't just following Harry's story. You got to explore Hogwarts for yourself. Like, it was like the biggest game for 2023, and with good reason, because they put so much heart and soul into it, and it was like based in 1891, which I love Hogwarts Legacy. I think it's such a beautiful game, such a beautiful world. I wish they would add to it. I'm sad that it kind of has a fall off now because they won't add like proper DLC. They're adding just like modding for the computers and stuff, and I'm like, well, I'm on Mac and I play PlayStation. But when it came out, it was such a huge successful rate. With Harry Potter, we know it, we've read it, we've watched the films, but we've got to talk about what it's missing. Peeves, obviously, people are pissed off about Peeves. Harry's eyes, they're not green. We know that Daniel Radcliffe tried green contact lenses, and we know how that went. We know he was allergic and they were not comfortable to him. Hermione's teeth, she also tried it. It was not comfortable for her to talk with. She wanted to, she was determined, but it only made the final scene of the first film. I know there are so many nitpicky things. I saw a comment on Instagram, someone complaining about Amos Diggory not having a beard, because that's how he's described in the books. Like, I think the only acceptable way to remake the Harry Potter series is to do it in animated form. I hear that Twilight is doing that, and I think it'd be so much smarter if like it was animated instead, because you could do so much more. You can actually get the brightness of Harry's eyes and get every little thing of magic and get the details. Take the game that unfortunately was not as successful as it should be, but it was a mobile game. It was Harry Potter Magic Awakened. It was set in the 2010s, and the animation was stunning. I'm gonna try to put it here, but it was so beautiful and it moved so well, and you saw like snippets of the characters that we know and love plus the new ones, and I think there was so much coolness to that. And I think a Harry Potter animated kind of series would go really well rather than the live action, because we're going to be comparing the actors. I feel bad for the children. I don't think any parent should be putting a kid forward for this. Everything I hear about it, I get not great vibes. I just don't have good feelings about it. Is it my attachment to it? Maybe, but also I just feel everything I hear about it is not good. Like the directors, I mean the showrunners are very big fans, and they also want to use the same sets as we know from the films. I feel like it's gonna look very uncanny. It's definitely gonna be like, how dare you stand where he stood, because it's gonna be these people like basically playing dress up, which I know that's what acting is, but like in the same locations that we already are familiar with from the other actors. It's yeah, it's, I don't know, it gives me a bad taste in my mouth. Like it's just like they're these big fans that are like, oh my gosh, yes, we can do Harry Potter again and make it so good, but will you? Because I've also heard that writers are wanting to go off the script and add things to the world when you don't want to add things to the world. The only things fans want is a freaking book adaptation thing. Well, I don't really care for it because I think the movies are amazing as they are. What I'm looking forward to is the new audiobook, which is going to come out with a whole cast of like reading the characters, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I think that's going to be sick for my imagination. I'd rather that than what HBO is doing. I think there's so many more opportunities. There are spin-offs, so many spin-offs you can do. There are different wizarding schools. There is Ilvermorny. We didn't get to explore more Ilvermorny. I was in Wampus, by the way. Um, oh, there's the Marauders. I would love to see Voldemort's first rise to power during the Marauders being at school. I want to see, like, the Order of the Phoenix being formed. I think that'd be sick. I would love to see the war. I would love to see the deaths. I would love to see, that sounds really morbid, but I would love to see, like, Sirius finding the scene and how Peter Pettigrew went down and how Sirius took being in Azkaban, like, how he just lost it. I would love to see Remus, him suffering, like, running off into the wilderness in his werewolf, like, in just away from society because he's just lost his best friends in the world. He's lost his family, basically. I want to see Peter Pettigrew go to the Weasleys. I would love to see a way up to that point. And then you can be like, okay, let's watch the movies now that we know and love. Like, I think that'd be really a cool thing to explore. Like, I would love to see the Gaunt family history. I'd love to see Salazar. I'd love to see the Hogwarts founders. I'd love to see Nicholas Flamel creating a Philosopher's Stone. I would love to see more of, like, Snape's story. Yeah, I think there's so many paths they can do. I'd love to see Wagadu. I think that's the school based in Africa that Natty talks about in Hogwarts Legacy. I would love to see, obviously, more Beauxbaton, Durmstrang, more international wizards. I think that'd be fun. Even if it's, like, a 1-season limited series, so you know you're not expecting more seasons, and it's going to be tied up in a nice bow. So instead of, like, not having the details of a film and not waiting for a sequel, you can just have, like, one limited series. Like Queen's Gambit, amazing limited series on Netflix. I think there's so many cool things you can do with that. It's also kind of embarrassing because I love new content. I love what the Wizarding World's doing, Orlando. I love that they're adding the Ministry. I love that they're adding Fantastic Beasts Paris. I love that Umbridge is going on trial. I'd love to see more about that. That would be cool to watch instead. It's kind of embarrassing because Lord of the Rings and Star Wars have their own multiple spin-off series and stuff, or they had, like, prequels, or they had, like, sequels, but they're not remaking the original films for its friggin' streaming service because they already hit how they are, and I think Harry Potter has so much magic into it. I heard that the series even want to use John Williams' music that he made for the movies, so it's like they already have, like, the hard work, like, cut out for them because that's theirs. They just want to put in the extra lines and extra characters. Like, I wish we saw Rick Mayall's Peeves, I really do, but it doesn't keep me up at night. I love Ludo Bagman, but, like, I'm not gonna fault the movies for not fitting every single thing in. I think it would be just better animated. So it just feels like a smack in the face, kind of a cheap cash grab. It feels kind of insulting. I know people complain about it on Facebook, but Facebook people, I don't know, they're a different breed. I don't know. I'm complaining, but they are complaining because they want it so badly. And I'm just like, people are just never satisfied, no matter what they do. We have an American for Dumbledore, for one. So there goes the British rule. There goes the UK rule. There goes all actors from the UK and, like, the amazing, grew up in theatre, Shakespearean, British people. Like, yes, he done a great Winston Churchill, but, like, I don't care how well his accent is. Like, the essence of Harry Potter just feels so British. And I just think it's such a great thing. I think it's something so special about it. And the actors that we got were so lucky because Rupert, Emma, and Daniel were literally themselves. Were literally their characters in real life. And yeah, like, sorry, Ron didn't grow tall and lanky. Like, people were like, oh, Ron was meant to be tall. Did we know that Rupert Grint was going to grow heaps tall when he was a kid? No, we didn't. You're not going to know that. You know what you can do that with? Animation. Literally animation. If you want it so badly, I think that is the best bet. Obviously, you guys aren't... Warner Brothers won't listen to me because, you know, thoughts. But I feel like they also ignore a lot of fan comments on Instagram. Like, they bring up something and people are just like, no, we want Marauders, no one asked for this isn't even needed. Like, literally, Dame Maggie Smith passed away last year. She's not even cold. The movies came out not even 15 years ago, like the last film. It's not even cold. And they're like, let's just remake it all and visit Harry again. We know Harry's story. We know it. We know it so well. We don't need to see these other people that we're just going to be comparing to the original cast. Like, I feel like there's so many different ways you can go. Like, I loved learning about the characters in Fantastic Beasts. I wish we got one final film for Fantastic Beasts, just like a tie-off, you know? But yeah, Harry Potter fans are picky. And if this doesn't, like, the more information that comes out, the more I see people being like, yeah, I'm not watching this. Like, obviously there will be an audience. There always will be. But I don't think it's going to have that impact. It's going to be forgettable. It's like, what about for the future generations, the new kids? You know what? They can watch films. The movies aren't that old. The movies do come out on streaming. They are out on DVD. They do come out at the cinemas around the world still, so you can rewatch them. I watched the last 4 movies at a marathon for my birthday last year. Like, and I cried the whole time. Like, and they still have the orchestra performances. Like, there are ways to relive the magic of Harry Potter. If you want to raise your kid that way, you can do that. Like, you don't have to wait for it to binge on your couch. Or just, like, watching your couch every week. Like, oh my gosh, new installment in Harry Potter. Like, I feel like streaming just is not as impactful. Like, I forget about freaking plots about shows when I go back to it. The next season comes out and I'm like, I don't really want to go through a whole last season before I watch the next season. Like, it's time. Movies are good because they're, like, much quicker, less detail, but I see the books as, like, a fun behind the scenes thing. I don't know. That's me, though. I honestly would be surprised if it passed 2 seasons. If it does, I will gladly put up my hands and be like, okay, good. You're doing well. Good job. Like, I'll be surprised if I am impressed. I want to be impressed. I want to be impressed so badly, but I also feel like it's not needed. It's like, everything I hear about it is just like, not good feelings in my stomach. Like, it's bad. Ignore my, koalas in my microphone. Sorry. But yeah, I feel like streaming tries too hard to hit the mark, and it just passes. Like, I feel like even with the new Shrek animation, how they look slightly uncanny because the animation's so good and polished, it doesn't have the same feeling of the love that the original animation for Shrek had. If that makes sense. Like, I feel like that's how the Harry Potter series is going to be like, oh, it's there, we can see the characters, they're saying the right lines from the books and stuff, but I feel like things aren't made with as much love anymore. Even Disney. I can say that for Disney too. Like, Disney films aren't even hitting that mark anymore. Like, no offense, Rachel Zegler, absolute queen, love her so much, but Snow White is looking really rough because everything is just, companies are just there for money. There's no love in it anymore. Like, I feel like it'd be so much more exciting if we just got a 1 season of Tom Riddle hunting Horcruxes like what we missed from the Half-Blood Prince movie. Like, that'd be sick. Tom Blythe would be amazing. Adult Tom Riddle, by the way. Just putting it out there. Like, I love Harry Potter. I want to be wrong. But everything I think about, it's just, yeah. Anyway, I don't know if you watch this whole thing. This is a long video. I've been asked so many times. So instead of me ranting on my streams every time I'm asked, because I'm trying not to, I'm trying just to play the games. I just want to leave people here. So thank you for watching if you made it this far. I appreciate it. I will be back with more content on YouTube, not just streaming. But yeah, I thought I'd talk about it. And I'm really nervous, but thank you for sticking around. Okay, bye. Tell me your thoughts, by the way. Of course I want to know your thoughts. Please tell me. Thanks.